Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this hat here. It's got the fur yarn on it, fur pom-pom, which I purchased at Amazon. And then it's very simple. It's half double crochet. It's a little bit of a slouch, but I do mention in the video that you can make it not slouch, or you can make it more of a slouch. You can leave the fur off if you want. It's up to you. And it fits about 21 and a half inches. I also say in the video how to increase one more time in case you need to make like 22 inches or so. But yeah, it's easy. So let's go ahead and get started on this. All right, for this project I am using a LIONBRAND Comfy Cotton Blend. It is a 50% cotton, 50% polyester blend, and there's 392 yards, and I only used about half of it, so it doesn't take much yarn. Less than 150 yards, I'm sure. Probably about 150 yards of yarn, something like that, 150 or so. Now it's classified as a lightweight 3. I classify it more as a 4 weight. So if you're not going to be using this yarn, I would not use another lightweight 3 because this is a very thick lightweight 3. I would either use this yarn or any 4 weight yarn. That's my recommendation. If you're not going to be using this lightweight 3, I wouldn't try using mandala or anything like that on it, because this is a thick 3. It's almost a 4 weight. It pretty much is a 4 weight. But for some reason it's classified as a 3. So I would definitely use this. If you're not using it, any 4 weight yarn will work. That's what I would do. The color I'm using is called Whipped Cream. And then I'm using some of the LIONBRAND Go for Faux yarn. You don't have to use this. If you can leave it off if you want. But it's a super bulky 6. 100% polyester. It's real soft if you haven't seen it yet. The color I'm using is Pink Poodle, 65 yards, and you don't hardly need any of it. I mean, I made a pom-pom out of this too, so, and there's still a lot left, so one seems to be plenty for you to do several hats, just to trim several hats or whatever. And then I'm going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Alright, as always, I just want to take a second to ask you not to forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you look in the lower right hand corner of this video, you'll see a little button, a little subscribe button. And you just click on that, you automatically be subscribed, and then you'll never miss any of my updates. Also, if you like this hat or enjoy this video, if you could give me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. So first thing we're going to do is start with the slip knot on our hook, and then we're going to work a chain of 4. Now this is a very basic beanie. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the first stitch to form a ring. Now if you prefer to use the magic circle right here, that's fine. Alright, we're going to chain 1. We're going to be working half double crochets. So I'm going to work 10 half double crochets through the center of the ring. So I'm going to yarn over and go into the ring, and I'm going to half double crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I've got on round one, I've got my 10 half double crochets. Now you want to pull that tail. It'll usually close up that center circle a little bit more, and then we can sew it together the rest at the end. So we're going to end by slip stitching into our first half double crochet. Not the chain 1. That chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. So we're going to slip stitch into our first half double crochet, and you'll have 10 stitches now at the end of round 1. So for round 2, we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. And right back there into that same spot that we slip stitched into, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. Like that. And then we're going to work 2 half doubles in every single stitch all the way around. So 2 into the next stitch. And 2 into the next, and we're going to repeat this until we get back to the beginning. 2 half double crochets in every single stitch. All right, I've made it to the end of round 2, and you should have 20 stitches now. And again, we're going to go ahead and end with the slip stitch into our first half double crochet, not the chain 1, but the half double. Round 3, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work 1 half double crochet right back into that same stitch that we slip stitched into. And now we're going to jump to the next stitch, and we're going to work 2 half double crochets into that same stitch. Now the next stitch is going to get 1 half double crochet, and then the next stitch will get 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. And that's what we're going to repeat now for round 3. 1 half double into the next stitch, and then 2 half doubles into the next. 1 half double into the next, and then 2 half doubles. 1 half double and 2 half doubles all the way around until you get back to your starting point. All right, I've made it to the end of round 3, and you should have 30 stitches now, and your last stitch should have had 2 half doubles in it. So we're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first half double crochet. And we're going to start round 4 then we're going to go ahead and chain 1. Now we're going to work 1 half double crochet into the first 2 stitches. So the first one always goes right here where you slip stitched, and then I'm going to work 1 half double into the next stitch, so that's 2 in a row. Now the next stitch is going to get 2 half doubles into the same stitch, and that's what we're going to repeat. So 1 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then 2 half double crochets into the next. One half double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and 2 half double crochets into the next. And we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around until we get back to our starting point. Alrighty, I've made it to the end of round 4, and now you should have 40 stitches. Should have ended with 2 half double crochets into that last stitch, and we're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first half double crochet. Now for round 5, we're going to chain 1, and now we're going to work 3 half double crochets in a row, and then we're going to put 2 half doubles into the next. So always we're going to put our first half double right here into that very first stitch. So we want to do 3 in a row. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then the next one is going to get 2 half doubles into the next stitch, just like that. And that's what we're going to repeat now for round 5. 1 half double into the next 3 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, and then 2 half doubles into the next. 1 half double into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 2 half doubles into the next. And we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way around until we get back to the beginning. Alright, I made it to the end of round 5, 50 stitches, 2 half double crochets into that last stitch is what you should have ended with, and go ahead and slip stitch into your first half double crochet. Round 6, we're going to chain 1, and now we're going to put a half double crochet into the first 4 stitches, starting with the very first one. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 2 half double crochets into the next. And that's a repeat now for round 6. 1 half double crochet, sorry, 1 half double crochet into the next 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 doubles into the, or 2 half doubles into the next. Just keep mixing that up. 1 half double crochet into the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and then 2 half doubles into the next. And go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to your starting point. Okay, I've made it back around to the end of round 6, and now you should have 60 stitches, and your last stitch again should have been ended with 2 half double crochets there. Now we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into our first half double crochet. Now that we have 60 stitches, we're not going to increase anymore. Now this hat will fit about 21 inches, 21 and a half. If you need a bigger hat, you can do one more round of increasing right now, which would be 1 half double into the first 5 stitches and then 2 half doubles into the next. And then when you got back around, you would have 70 stitches. But if you, you know, like mine's 21, 21 and a half, you stop here at 60 stitches. But you're more than welcome to do another increase if you feel, if you have the head size that's a little bit bigger than 21 or 21 and a half inches. So once we get to round 6 and we have 60 stitches, or if you made it one round bigger and you have 70, regardless, we're going to do the same thing now. We're going to chain 1, and now we're just going to be doing 1 half double crochet in every stitch around. And we're going to do this for a while until we get our hat quite a bit longer, or as long as we need it to be, almost anyways. So it's 1 half double crochet in every stitch until you get back around. We are on round 7 right now. Now when I get back to the beginning, I will have 60 stitches still. And then all I want to do is end with the slip stitch into my first half double, chain 1, and start again, working a round of 1 half double crochet in every stitch. You'll always have 60 stitches at the end of every round. Of course, unless you made another extra increase, and then you'll have 70. But if you're following along with me, we'll have 60 stitches. Alright, now you want to repeat round 7 for a total of 20 rounds, and that's starting from round 1 all the way down till you reach round 20. If you want to make yours more of a slouchy hat, please continue to do more rows. If you want it to be not so slouchy, you could do less rows. But I did 20 rows total, and now I'm going to add some fur. And again, if you prefer not to add that fur, that's fine. You can leave it as is. You could do some other type of like post stitches as a band or whatever you want to do. But I'm going to use the fur. So I'm at the end of round 20, and I just slip stitched into my first half double. Now I'm going to clip off my yarn here like that, and I'm going to bring my faux fur in. I'm just going to start it right around here somewhere where I ended off in one of these stitches, and I'm just going to be single crocheting this on. So I'm going to go through any stitch there. I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to go back into that same stitch, and I'm going to single crochet, and then I'm going to single crochet 1 time in every stitch around. Now this fur is a little bit hard to see the stitches, but it's really worth it because it's really soft, and it makes a cool add-on to a lot of your projects. So I'm just working 1 single crochet in every stitch around, just singles now with this fur, until I get back to the beginning. And when I make it back around, I should have 60 stitches still, if you're able to count them, because sometimes they're really hard to see. And remember, if you don't like the looks of this fur, by all means, you leave it off. It's your hat. Some people just not into fur, and I understand that. I'm really into it, though. So That's why I'm putting it on. So there I'm doing one single in every stitch of this with this fur all the way around back to the beginning. All right, I've made it back around to the beginning, and you should have 60 stitches, and I know it's going to be really hard to count. So as long as you know it, you think you're somewhere close to that, that's fine. I'm going to use a stitch marker now, and I'm just going to use this piece of yarn. Now I'm just going to put it right here in between my first and last stitch, and I'm going to go around again, putting one single crochet in every stitch. Now this part will be a little difficult because the fur is a little hard to see what you're doing. So I usually just have to kind of feel. So I'm just going to jump right over to the next stitch, and I'm going to put a single crochet into it like that. And I'm going to feel around for my next stitch. Once you get used to it though, it becomes easier. So I'm just repeating the last round with this fur, just making the fur a little thicker. I'm putting one single crochet in every stitch all the way around. And you see me feeling for my stitch. It's not really that bad. Sure does make a pretty hat though. Just like that. So that's making that fur just a little bit thicker down there on the bottom. So I'm going to continue around putting one single crochet of this fur into every stitch until I get back around to my stitch marker. Now you should have 60 stitches when you get around. But if you're having trouble counting them, as long as you have something close to that, that will be fine. So I'll go ahead and meet you back around right over here. All right, I've made it back to my stitch marker here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Like that. Now pull this out and kind of pull a longer tail. Flip that yarn. You can take your stitch marker out if you want. Now what I do to hide this fur is I kind of just weave it in and out the stitches a little bit. Like this. It's kind of hard to sew it in, so I kind of just go over and under that last row. And then we can always fluff it up at the end. Of course you can do more rows with the fur if you want, however thick you want that as a band. But I'm going to go ahead and finish just kind of weaving this in, this bottom row. And then I'm going to hide my other tail that I got hanging around somewhere. I seen it. Yeah, right here. Alright, there's my hat. Now, I kind of always fluff the fur with my hook. I just go like this. Not real hard, but I got the hook end down. That's what I do. But give it a good fluffing. Kind of loosens up the fur. Now, if you want to put a pom-pom on, you can. You don't have to. I will show you the pom-poms here. I'll do that more in a little bit, but now I have a pom-pom that I purchased, and this is the one I'm going to put on because it matches pretty well. I got this off of Amazon, and I'll leave a link to where I purchased this at on Amazon. It's not an affiliated link or nothing. I don't make no money off of it. I'm just going to show you where I bought mine in case you're interested, because these are really, this is where I always buy my pom-poms, and they're really nice. But remember, it's not affiliated or nothing, so it's just a link to where I get my stuff. I actually also, if you don't want to do that, I made one out of this Go for Faux yarn, just like a regular, like you make a regular pom-pom, and that's what it looks like. So I think either one looks nice. I'm going to go with this one though, because that's what I already had it. Decided to use that before I made this, but I just want to show you what it looked like. I made this just like you make a regular pom-pom, you know, wrapping it around a book or something, or your arm, and then, you know, folding it in half and cutting the loops and then trimming it up. So that's how I made that, and you could sew it onto the top just like you normally would. Now for these pom-poms that I buy here, they have a little rubber band on them like this. And how I attach these is I get a little button, just a regular, I'll probably just use a regular white button. I'll flip my hat right side out. I still got to sew this tail in, but I'll sew that little button with the regular thread and needle that matches my hat right here onto this, right here, up here by the center. Just a little button. And then I will take this rubber band and weave it through that center hole, and then I'll wrap it around the rubber band around the button, and that'll hold the pom-pom on. And then if you want to wash the hat, you can just take the pom-pom off the button. And if there's ever a time you don't want to wear the pom-pom, you can take it off and you won't be able to see the button because it's on the inside. And that's how I attach these type of pom-poms. So I'm going to go ahead and get mine attached real quick. All right, that's it. That's all there is to it. It's a pretty simple hat, but I think it looks neat with the fur and stuff on it. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Remember, if you look in the right-hand corner right now, you'll see that subscribe button. Also, if you look right above you in the left-hand corner, you'll see a picture of my face. If you click on that, you will automatically be subscribed to. And don't forget to check out all my other tutorials, and also there are links to my Facebook pages below in the description box. So until next time, have a good day.